does Palestine deserve a state?
Well, I don't think so. I think the most important thing is you have to have a credible peace partner. And in being a credible peace partner, two things have to happen. Number one, the Palestinian Authority has to denounce all the terrorist activities, especially coming out of Gaza with Hamas, who is one of the number one terrorist groups in the world. And the second thing is you have to have a recognition of the modern day state of Israel, because there have been countless amounts of time throughout history, going all the way back to 1917 with the British Mandate, where we tried to establish two states, an Arab state and a Jewish state, and the Jewish people would accept it, and Arabs continually reject it. So I think that right now they have to come to the table and show that they're going to be a willing peace partner, first and foremost. There's already some problems coming out of Egypt. Matter of fact, when I was over there visiting Israel the last week of August, that was just days after they had the attack in Eilat. And of course, during the week that I was there were rockets and missiles coming into southern Israel from Gaza. There really is not a two-state solution, because Mahmoud Abbas has nothing to do with what's happening in Gaza Strip. So if anything, it would have to be somewhat of a three-state type of solution. So they need to come to the table and talk about how they're going to be a credible peace partner, and they're going to provide security for the modern-day state of Israel.
Can you speak to the historical argument that this is the Palestinian land and it has always been this way?
Well, unfortunately, that's very wrong, because if you go back to 73 AD, after the Romans conquered Israel, and it was then called Judea, Emperor Hadrian sent out a decree to change the name from Judea to Palestina. So therefore, that is where this word Palestine comes from. Now, furthermore, you have to understand where the Romans get the word Palestina from. Well, the root word from that is Philistia. And when you study and understand that the original Philistines were Greek. So this thing about Palestine has nothing to do with Arab people.
Hamas opposes Palestinian statehood. I believe they enjoy using this as a crux to drum up anti-Israeli sentiment.
Absolutely. I mean, they like playing the victim. And all of a sudden, if you create this thing called a Palestinian state, then they have to have some type of responsibility of governance. And that's not what they want. They just want to be the radical Islamic terrorists and agitators that they will continue to be. And I think that you already, because you're seeing this week, increased attacks coming out of the Gaza Strip. So this is not a time for us to say, we're going to grant you this type of statehood until you can prove something to the international community.
The Greater Arab Spring, how much of it has to do with the Muslim Brotherhood, and how much of it should we really be concerned about?
Well, Arab Spring is a Western rose-colored glass type of thought process. There's no such thing as an Arab Spring. There's no Washington, Jefferson, Madisons, or anything like that in the Middle East. I'm very concerned about the Muslim Brotherhood and what they're fomenting, once again, in a sense of unrest and instability, which is what you've seen in Iran, Afghanistan, and Somalia. So now we're seeing it in Egypt. And as I said, since the Hosni Mubarak was deposed, you've had 4 attacks on the oil and gas pipeline that comes out of Egypt into Israel. You've had 2 Iranian warships transit through the Suez Canal, first time in, I think, 30 to 35 years. So there are constant, things that lead us to believe that this is not about a uprising of democracy and freedom, but is an opportunity for the Muslim Brotherhood to, once again, elevate themselves, because they are the only really stable political entity there in Egypt. So jury's still out.